Good morning, everybody. Must be summer out there today. Well, you guys can hear us now.
Last time I was on there, I don't think the the voice was strong enough, so I have to talk a little louder. I'm talking to myself here.
I'll move it nice and close to us so they can hear you.
Talk loud. Just talk loud.
It's the Fulton silence.
Just talk loud.
Got some printing happening. All right. Good morning. Good morning. It was Eid yesterday.
Second Eid, right?
That's what I was wondering. And Father's Day. Waiting for me.
What we do?
Yep.
You do? Okay, all right. So hello. So not too many people here today, so I'm not sure how many people are at home.
Guys, we started our meeting.
I guess we'll find out.
Meeting.
So we got this new format now. So we used to show this. So we used to do this this meeting on Zoom, and then Facebook originally, and then Zoom attached it to Facebook, and now Facebook and Zoom aren't talking, so we're putting these things on YouTube. So hopefully you've got a chance to look at those. All the things that we're doing, all the things that Katelyn are doing, it's on C21 Percy Fulton Agents YouTube site. And I think last week we had like 150 people looking at the YouTube video itself, so I can see that. So if you want to go back to anything we've done in the past, it's all on that YouTube channel, and that seems to be the direction we're going. Just staying with the multimedia there, it seems to me, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but seems to me that a lot of people are doing Instagram. Is everybody doing Instagram here? Certainly Facebook. Everybody's doing Facebook, right? How about Instagram? No, maybe a little bit. But I'm seeing that a lot of people are starting to move into the YouTube space now as well, only because I guess it's searchable, right? So people can search your name and it's searchable. On Instagram, not so much.
Yeah. Instagram, you can't really search for posts. It just pops up if it's relevant to whatever that person's looking at. But yeah, YouTube's an educational platform.
So that's good. Okay, I'm just gonna do random things right now, just sort of things off the top of my head. I've got sort of agenda here as well, but just things are in my head right now, and I'm thinking about yourself. And has everybody here ever Googled yourself? Everybody Googling themselves? Has anybody Googled themselves and read what you have about yourself? The reason why I'm asking that is I'm guilty as well. I have a LinkedIn account, and a LinkedIn account I'll say, gee, in 1942 I did this. Well, I think I should update it, right? You may have stuff on there that says that I don't know, maybe you haven't posted something for a long time. Or does anybody do podcasts anymore? We used to do podcasts and things like that, or blogs.
Well, we had an agent last week that hasn't Googled themselves and realized that their cell number is wrong on their website. And it's been probably like that for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
And their client, I think, was the one that called them out on it. So I don't know if they were missing leads, but it's kind of weird when your cell phone is wrong on your website.
So we're suggesting at least once a year, once every 6 months or something there, Google yourself, but actually read yourself and read what it shows up on your LinkedIn, read what it says on your Instagram and your Facebook, and just make sure things are current. And when you're doing stuff on those types of platforms, try not to date yourself. In other words, don't you're going to put say client recommendations, client comments on your service. Say, gee, Raj did a great job here. Signed Bill 2016. You don't have to have 2016 there. So you make it what's called evergreen. So if somebody looks at it today, or someone looks at it 10 years from now, it looks as good 10 years as it does today. You understand the following? The reason why I'm saying this is I was looking at some listings on the weekend, and some agents have forgotten or haven't looked at their own listings. Have you looked at your own listings to see what shows up? And if you've reran a listing, who's ran re-listings here? Who's done a rerun on a listing? Cancel relist? I'm sure you're aware of this, but if you do a cancel relist and you don't reload the photos in the original format, then the computer takes your old photos and puts them into small little pics and shows up as small little pictures rather than large pictures. And the reason why that is because you've done a rerun, and all you've done is just transferred the photos from the old listing to the new listing, and the computer reduces the size. So you spend all this money on nice like overhead pictures and so on and so forth, but they show up size of a thumbnail because they haven't been updated. So you gotta keep an eyes on
On
that.
that topic too, I know Carly goes crazy with your listing. Some agents will say, oh, my listing's not selling. Could you give me some feedback? And we'll go right in and we'll look at the photos. Like, why do you have a photo of like this storage unit and all this junk in the garage? Or like, there's certain photos we can like not put on the internet. So we don't have to fill all 40 of those photos for a listing. There's some things that we can hide away and they can see that dirty garage when they get to the house. But there's certain photos that agents aren't paying attention to. We're just filling the 40 photos, but stuff like storage units, or if you see some sort of messy room, like leave it off the MLS altogether. Like sometimes less is more. Or we'll notice like someone's hand is in the mirror. Like there's certain stuff that's not happening that we're just not, I don't know, we're just not taking care of our listings like we should be. So definitely open your listings when you guys do it, or spelling mistakes you see like in the listing descriptions. So if the girls are uploading it, I would still do like a double check to make sure everything is correct and looks presentable.
Another thing I've noticed, I've been looking at listings and so, let's say there's a building that has like 5 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms, whatever it might be, right? And then you're looking at the photos and you're trying to think to yourself, well, is that bedroom 1, bedroom 2? Is this bedroom 3? Is that the bedroom, like they have plus bedrooms? Is that bedroom in the basement or is it on the main floor? Do you know? And a lot of your competitors are putting in the description of every photo.
Yeah.
And I went through all our listings and I didn't see any descriptions of any photos. So I'm wondering whether you guys are aware that you can do that.
Yeah.
So on each photo, you're gonna have on there primary bedroom, second bedroom in the basement, third thing, or view overlooking the lake, view overlooking the tree. Like you should be putting stuff on there because there's 24,000 active listings out there, and you got to make your listing look different than somebody else's.
Yeah.
You follow me there? So pay attention to little things like that. So
same thing with just the flow of the listings on that topic. Sometimes it's good to do a flow of it where you're doing the exterior, you're doing like the lobby or the foyer, and then you go like into the next room, like the dining room, and then there's the kitchen. Like sometimes like having some sort of flow, or then there's the stairs that go up, and then you do a photo of the bedroom. And then there's a photo of the stairs going in the basement, and then you do the photos of the basement. Sometimes there's a flow and an order that you can do with the photos to kind of make it like that. Same with a condo. There's like, you're going to talk about the stats today. There's thousands of condos right now. So like the last thing we should be doing is like 5 photos of the foyer before they even get to the unit. Like if it's got like a waterfront view, I would almost make that the first photo, or like some of the key features should be at the beginning. So there's some different strategies just within your photos that you guys can be doing to stand out from the other one. Same thing, like if you have an ugly front of the house, maybe don't make the front of the house the cover photo and make it like the nice staged living room and make that the photo of the front. So pay attention to that type of stuff too, just to get people to click on them.
So if you got a listing sitting there and you're wondering what can I do to make it happen, what can I do to make it look different, these are the little things here. Make sure that the photos are full size and have the little description on each photo. Just thoughts. I mean, it still doesn't overcome the price of the property.
No, but it gets people to click on it.
But it does make it a little easier. I've also seen people like for condominiums or other places, in the first picture, what Katelyn's talking about, the first picture is a picture of the living room. That's the very first picture that's on MLS. Does that turn anybody off?
I like it if it's a nice living room. If it's a nicely staged living room, and maybe the outside of the house is ugly, maybe it will get someone to click it.
So doesn't that tell you that they're hiding something?
Sometimes. But it works to get them to click.
Again, I've been around for so long. I'm just used to seeing the building. The first shot is the building. And I think
You can, but if you're competing with like 15 other condos in that building, just get straight to the point and go right into the living room,
I can see
right?
condos, but if you're looking at a house,
What if it's an ugly house?
then you're hiding it.
Like, what if you got a listing that looks like it's terrifying outside? I don't know. I think you got to play with it.
That's what I was with ours. It's disgusting with those uneven.
So you go straight to the bedroom. So they'll catch it, but
Inside it was fully renovated. It was gorgeous inside, but outside, but my client, that's his job. So I was like, oh, perfect. I'll do the outside as well.
No, just little things there. So a few people here, a bunch of people at home. What's the market doing? Nelson and I are sort of talking about what's going on. We're feeling that the market's picking up a little bit.
energy.
And I want to know if I'm seeing a couple of heads here and there. Anybody else have the same feeling or no? Looking at Raj here, you still have stuff at Liberty Village? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's funny, you're talking about, I know you work at Liberty Village. I was listening to the radio this morning. This woman was complaining that she went shopping. There's a Metro shopping plaza in Liberty Village. She said she went there shopping, went to Metro, and it took her an hour and a half to get out of the parking lot
Ooh,
because there's so much traffic at Liberty Village. An hour and a half just to get out of the parking lot.
One way in, one way out.
yeah.
So anyway, that's interesting, right? So I don't know. Anybody else feeling the market? So Nelson, I'm looking at Nelson again here. So you're feeling that I don't know.
Been different activity. I mean, I haven't seen numbers, but a lot of calls, a lot of offers being done. That's for sure. It's changed in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm talking to agents, and there's almost 24,000 active listings out there right now, which we've not seen that 24,000 number since probably 1990. It goes way back there. So, and then I was talking to other people, and they're telling me that there's 24,000 listing out there, but there's nothing to buy. Okay, well, how's that? Because the condition's not right, or
Nothing good to
the
buy.
price doesn't match the condition.
Everybody's looking at on the $1 million.
Mhm.
All right. Under the $1 million stuff, and we're going over that stuff again. Nelson and I suggested you guys last week, if you're gonna price a property, if it's less than $1 million, then price it low to accept multiple offers. If it's over like 1.5 or so like that, then okay, maybe you don't want to look for multiple offers. You want to price it nearer to the value. In between, you're gonna flip a coin. But I don't know. I still think prices are they're actually going up, but I don't understand how or why in this. We'll see. So sticking with that, we had as of last night, 23,982 active listings. They're probably over 24,000 today. Almost 10,800 of them are condos, 13,000 are freeholds. Of the 23 or 24,000 that are out there available, 12,000 of them are owner occupied. So 51% of the properties are owner occupied. On the freehold side, that's 64% of those properties are occupied. So there's 6,000 out of 6,400 properties are owner occupied. On the condo side, 36% are owner occupied. So of the 10,800 active listings for condominiums, 4,000 are owner occupied, about 36%. So that's consistent with what we've always talked about. A lot of investors are trying to unload the condominiums. So is that what we're seeing here? I think that's sort of the message I'm getting here. Sales themselves for the first 16 days, so for a half year, unfortunately, they're still down about I don't know, you guys want the truth or the lie? Truth? You want the truth? All right. Sales are down so far for the first 16 days in June, they're down 25%.
Just
Could be
keeps
worse. It
going down.
could be 50%. On the freehold side, they're down 20%. On the condominium side, who's trying to sell a condo right now? Anybody here? No, nobody here. Anyways, condos are down 32%. So just how the market's going. If I compare it to May 16th, first 16 days of May versus the first 16 days in June, we're still down about 16% from May even. So things are actually yeah, interesting. Summer market almost. It's not summer, it's still spring. Active listings or leases, there's 12,000. The leases of the 12,000, 4,000 freehold, almost 8,000 are condos. On the lease side, their first 16 days are actually minus 31%. Who's got rentals they're trying to do? Is the rental market iffy as well? Nobody here's doing rentals?
Lower than
Okay.
before.
Freeholds are down again 28% on the lease side and minus 36% for condos. That's going to come around. It's mid-month. A lot of properties are sold conditional, waiting for financing. So all those things will clean themselves up as we get into the month. Appointments for all of Treb. I wanted to see what we're doing here. So appointments is per day. So on June the 2nd, which would have been what day? Who's got a calendar? June 2nd would have been.
See.
So I guess
Sunday.
Sunday. Okay. So June 2nd is on Sunday. We had about 200 appointments in one day. Okay, this is a one day. This is all Treb. And then on June the 4th, we had about looks like about 575. And then on June the 5th is when we had the quarter point rate reduction. We popped up from about 550 June the 5th. June the 6th, we popped up to looks like almost 700. So about 550 to over 700 as soon as they announced the rates. And then, of course, it dropped back down on June the 9th, less than 200, but I assume that June the 9th is also a Sunday.
Yeah.
And then on the Monday, the 10th, it popped up to again about 700. And on Friday, the 15th, no, Friday, the 14th, it was around 500. So it's about 500 or so a day, which is okay. I was curious about the drop in the interest rate, whether it'll affect anything, and my answer would be no. Anybody else agree or disagree? Do you think a reduction in the interest, the reduction of interest rate had no effect?
Just little bit positive feeling from some.
It was positive from some people, from the public and the agency. Yeah, so it's a positive thing. Things going the right way, but there's, people are still waiting for like a half a point. That's
There
the
are 3 more cuts maybe. At
Mhm.
the end of the year.
Toronto home buyers are holding out for a rate cut as May sales drop. Prices are flat as well. So yeah, there's even the media itself saying that they're waiting for a bigger reduction in the rate itself.
Yeah, figure out which article you're going with.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Toronto condo developments, okay.
The government's trying to increase affordability, right? As I said last week, we've got all kinds of condominiums that are probably less than, not every condominium is $1,000 a square foot. You got a lot of stuff that's less. Why doesn't the city just buy up all these condominiums instead of trying to create all these purpose-built rentals and stuff like that? There's all kinds of stuff out there. Maybe they should be buying condominiums and renting those out for affordable people. I don't know. I guess it's not in the book, but what they've also done, they want everybody to increase the inventory. But on June the just reason, I guess, I'll say June 1st, June 6th, right? Toronto increased the development fees for everything. Yeah, development charges to be charged. So they didn't even tell anybody. So they went okay, a fee hike went into effect early this month, June 5th. Went from May 24, the development charge would have been $44,000 for a 1-bedroom condo. Now they popped it up to 53,000.
Crazy.
$53,000. These are what the builders will pay, not consumers. This is what the builders are paying to build condominiums. This is what the money goes to the city.
Which means they'll increase.
So and that's what's going to pass on. That's going to be passed on to the consumer anyways. But this is the problem that the new homes are having right now. I think condo sales are down 85%, and the pre-construction down 85%, and the costs are going up. The builders can't reduce the price. I mean, at least are on the resale market, we can reduce the price to generate activity. On the condominium side, these are all fixed costs these guys have. They can't. This is their hard cost. They can't sell it for any less. This is one of the reasons why. What did I say last week? There's 60 projects have been put on hold now. Just waiting for things to change. And what are they waiting for? They're waiting for the prices to increase. We want prices to decrease, right? So it's a tough one. Who's any builders here? Builders in the room? No, I don't see any. Okay. Hmm?
There's one.
Where's the builders in the room? Over here, okay. This guy in Oshawa, he's got 7,500 square foot lot. And there says that he can build a 8-unit condominium on that lot. Or eight unit rental building on that lot. If you're a builder, you're not following me there, but it's just like, I don't know how they can jam that many people into a small spot. Anyways, they did.
Yeah, it does. 24 Fairbank.
Part of the also problem here with the consumers, and I guess the sellers have to understand this too. I don't know, the market's confusing. They're saying here is that it's more expensive to buy a house in Toronto now than it was in January, even though the rates went down. And the reason why is because the average price in January to today has gone up $140,000. So the price has gone up higher than the rate reduction. So even though the market's tough and everything else, the prices are still up there. I mean, prices are, what was it, 1,165 last month? And they started off in January, 1,000,000, what, 25?
25.
So it's gone up like $140,000 in 1 month. So we're, I don't know.
And no one's income's going up.
I don't know. It's a hard one to say. Anyway. It sounds kind of silly here, but it's something for you. You can talk about that. Somebody did a study, and this is something for you to do when you do your CMAs. You probably have never done this, but they did a study and they checked the prices of properties within 800 meters of a subway station. And they compared the prices of those particular units, houses and condos, with places that were not. And they just wanted to see if there is a price difference when you're closer to the TTC. And this is good news for people that maybe bought at where's that Eglinton and Don Mills, is it? What do they call it? Sonic Way. So this is kind of good. But study went on there, and they're saying that in 2024, prices for houses and condos sold within 800 meters or a 10-minute walk. So the average price for a detached home, $1.8 million. And it's especially higher on the line one. Line one would be what, up and down Yonge Street?
Mhm.
That's line one. Detached homes near St. George, Bloor Street. These are all big places, right? Detached homes at St. George, Bloor, Yonge, Bay, Museum. They're averaging about $3 million. Because that's, I don't know if that has anything to do with the subway. They're just selling newspapers, man.
No.
York Mills, 3.95. And I'm thinking to myself, how many people in York Mills use their York Mills subway?
Not a lot of them, probably. They have drivers.
Average condo prices in Bloor and Yonge, $693 at Bloor and Yonge. Summer Hills, 1.74. That seems like a lot. Summer Hill, where's that? That's south of Eglinton, right?
Everybody's forgetting what the Yorkins are covering. Over there, the rental buildings and their Andrea homes. And there also the one other block of the site, there's a lot of rental buildings.
Yeah. So it's just something to say. So if you're doing your CMAs or you're looking with a buyer, I mean, look where the subways are and expect to pay a bit of a premium for something that's closer, like, closer to the subways. Toronto home selling for $500,000 less than the purchase price after fails attempts to sell. So this is common, right? This guy here bought a property in 2022 and he's trying to sell it today and he's losing $500,000. So that's sort of old news. We expect that. It's too bad for the sellers, but that's how we're doing. Bad news, that project at One Bloor. How do you pronounce that guy's name? Is it it's Mizrahi? Mizrahi. I don't know where you get that in there, but anyways, Mizrahi. He went bankrupt, right? They went bankrupt on One Bloor and it's being taken over by a receivership. They've got two other projects. I'm not sure if we sold any or not. Two other projects by him as well. One at 128 Hazelton Avenue. That's a high-end area. Another one at 180 Steeles Avenue in Vaughan. I don't know these buildings. They didn't give me the names of the buildings, but I wonder if we sold any of those. Anyways, these are two pre-construction projects. They're also going under bankruptcy. The receivers will take over, and if they started to build, they'll finish it, and they'll be okay with the buyers because there's carry-on involved and other things involved. But if they haven't started anything yet, they'll probably just give the deposits back and start all over again. We sold a bunch of stuff on Burl. Burl's where? Birchmount and Ellesmere or Lawrence? Lawrence. And somebody told me they actually broke ground. They broke ground. They actually started digging. I gave up on that thing because they sold those things way too cheap. So I'd be very surprised if they move forward. There's a trend in the industrial side, just for people that are industrial side, some people are. Did anybody notice these giant buildings being built? These warehouses? Anybody paid attention to that? If you drive along Finch and Morningside, go north, take a left turn at Morningside at Finch. There's these gigantic. We've talked about it. Who else? Someone else here. Someone else. They're already been built, they're being built, some are being built, being sold now. But there's these giant warehouses. They look like about 30 foot high and they're huge. There's one in couple at in Ajax. One is at Lake Ridge and Kingston Road. And it's the building itself is 1,000,000 square feet. 1,000,000 square feet building. And the best part, like here's a picture of it, just for people at home, you can see it. It takes up an entire 100-acre lot. And the strange part of it is there's no tenant. They've got a for lease sign out front.
Just hoping someone,
So
Yeah.
you've all seen the giant Amazon buildings along Steeles and Markham Road. There's the giant Amazon. There's a giant Canada Post. These buildings are twice that size, as big as they seem, and they're for lease now for adult. They're starting at $1 a square foot. But anyways, there's two more giant buildings that everybody remember golf course at Church and Bailey called Amber Lee. In Ajax, look at the golf course here. That's completely gone now. It's been replaced by two of these giant warehouses. And same thing, they got a big for lease sign out front of it. So somebody's got a lot of money buying this stuff, or they know something we don't know, because something's happening to make these giant buildings. They must know something we don't know. So that only tells you that the economy is going to be great in the coming future because these building these giant buildings.
Something is happening in Oshawa and Ajax, that Oshawa and Whitby, it's just got crazy on Thornton. From Roslyn North, they've just put these monsters up there on Gerard, where Amazon is on the northeast corner. It's just like right from Gerard, from Taunton north to Winchester, they just got something happening. They're just building these things and the amount of truck, want to take 100 trucks east, but it's empty, so I don't know what the hell is going on.
I don't know, it's really weird.
They're in Brampton as well.
And Brampton, I'm sure this is just, I'm just looking, I go to the east, I'm sure. Does anybody go to the west and see the same thing?
It's in Brampton, a lot. Most of it will be called.
So everybody's starving for residential houses for affordable housing, and they're building these gigantic, huge things, just monsters, and they're truck bays. You look at the outside, it looks like a nice building. You go around the side, all you see is these truck bays. You don't know what he does. And then on the weekend, I got off at 401 at I don't know, Salem, let's say, and I'm behind like 3 transport trucks, Amazon, just 3 transport trucks making a left turn. I'm stuck in. So the traffic. You think traffic's bad today?
I live on High Glen and Markham was not like this before.
Is it big trucks or consumer traffic? Wow, it's amazing. Haven't got any details on this, but this is from CoStar, and CoStar you have to pay to get the information that they have. But they're saying here that the surge in rents higher at purpose-built units than condos. So the purpose-built units are actually increasing faster than condominiums are, because condominiums, we know that. I have a condominium myself, and the rent came due. Did I increase it by, was it 2.7%? What's the rate increase? Do you think I should increase my tenant's rent by 2.5%?
Not from my mistake, yes.
Yes. In today's market? In today's market, and hands up, who would advise their clients to increase the rent to their tenants in today's market?
I mean, is it,
If you're getting like 1,600, yes, but if you're getting like almost 3,000, maybe not, right? So anyways, you gotta think about that. I said no, thank you very much, so I'll look at it next time. Just reading this article here in New York City, you know, in the States, how you guys are paying attention to the Americans, how they have a problem with the co-op commission, all these lawsuits, and we got one up in Canada right now, but ours is still a couple years away. What they've done in the States there, they told everybody that, and they've given fines too, but they told everybody they can't offer a co-op commission. So, so the buyer's agents are expected to get paid by the buyers, and the sellers are going to get paid by the sellers. And when you take a listing now in the States, you're taking it for 2.5% or 3%. You're not taking it for 5%. You're not offering a co-op commission. The buyer's agent has to negotiate his own commission. And on the offer, he might put in there saying that the seller agrees to, forget the term that they're using, but the seller agrees to pay for the 2.5% on the statement of adjustments, and then it still goes the old way. But they don't have to. New York City, so they made this law say there's no co-op commission. New York City renters didn't know this. If you're renting in New York City, the tenant pays the commission.
Hmm.
So if you're in New York City and you're renting stuff there, it's the tenant pays, not the landlord. But now New York City say, no, we don't want that anymore. We don't want the tenant. The tenant can't afford it as it is. The tenants, they're hard done by as it is. So you can no longer charge the tenant the rent. So I'm thinking, well, wait a minute, they just told us that we can't put
Buyers.
co-op commission. We have to charge the buyer. Now you're telling us we can't charge the tenant. So they're a big mess down the States. But it's interesting how things work out. How would it happen here? How would you guys feel if there's no co-op commission, you had to negotiate your own buyer commission?
Ton of agents out of the business.
Because we complain about buyers come to us now saying that I'll buy through you, but I want 1% back, or I'll buy through you, but I want half your commission back. We get that now, but it'll be rampant, right?
It's going directly to the listing agent.
Right.
I saw.
So it goes back to what I talked about before. I want everybody to have a farm area and start farming and get listings.
List to last.
I saw one listing, for 1% brokerage or something like that. They put the listing and they are giving 0.5% to the broker.
That's not you.
No, that's old, right?
There is, no, there
Better
is no
not.
mention that you can
Yeah,
get
you did it all.
some more from,
Yeah,
owner
that's-
or anything.
Yeah, so what he's saying here is that there's no contact the seller direct for a hire. He's saying this is what it is. So just for those at home, if somebody's offered like a half a point commission and there's no contact the seller direct, it's half a point commission, that's it. Well, by law, you have to show that property buyer anyways, but it's okay because you have your buyer under 2.5% commission BRA. So the buyer has to pay the difference, and you have to tell the buyer, when you buy this house, we're only paying 0.5, you have to pay me the other 2.
Nobody does.
Everybody does that.
Yeah.
Only one person doesn't do it.
We all do it, Chief.
Everybody does that. What are you talking about, man? So be tough, right? Okay, so I don't want to talk about negative things. But enough. These agents got fun. This is funny. These are agents, and where were they? They're offering $250 Amazon gift card as a draw for people to go to their open house, which is fine. But they call it a agent open house safari, and it's in the West End, and it's like 4 different listings, different agents, different brokerages. So these 4 agents got together and said, look, let's pool our money, let's do an advertisement, let's pool our money, get a gift card, and let's invite the public to 4 different open houses, all 4 different brokerages and different agents.
Mm.
So basically they're pooling their it's almost like the neighbors on the street, each of them have a garage sale and they all do it the same day. Right? Same idea. So it's not a bad idea if you want to think outside the box. If you've got an area that let's say you've got a complex and there's like four units for sale in that complex, why doesn't all 4 agents get together and have some type of event?
Wonder what the benefit of doing an agent open house safari is though. Versus a public.
I don't know. Mississauga, again, I was reading some more stuff. I talked about it last week, but there's Mississauga, Hamilton, I think in Niagara Falls. They want, and Waterloo. They wanted back in January, they wanted to create their own board, get rid of the Mississauga board, get rid of the Hamilton board, get rid of the Niagara board, have one board, save some money, save staff, and be able to do things. And they wanted to join ITSO, which is the competing MLS system to the realm. And they all agreed to do it. They all signed papers and went to do it. But then London screwed everybody over, and London joined Stratus rather than ITSO. So now Mississauga is saying, well, why should we carry on? Let's join TREB. Why pay 2 bills? So in the future, I bet you this time next year, we'll probably have access to pretty much all Southern Ontario through
I don't
realm.
understand why they have their own boards. I mean, there's nothing there.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, that's, yeah. I mean, in their mind, why is Toronto tell us what to do? Nice little house in Scarborough, $1.7 million. Scarborough's a nice little place, you know, there's lots of little pockets in Scarborough they're very, very, very nice. So there's a property here for sale, $1.7 million over lake, so right on the bluffs. Overlooking the lake. That sounds like pretty good.
That sounds great.
The house itself is livable, but it's probably a tear down, but it's probably a good deal there. But my point is, there's lots of pockets in Scarborough that they're very, very, very nice. This is around, this is Birchcliff. This is Birchcliff and Hill Avenue, everything is south of 401. Or sorry, south of Houston Road and Scarborough, all by the lake. It's all very, very nice products. Want to talk about realm?
Your favorite?
Favorite realm?
Is everyone ready for realm?
Do you want to do the first time buyers?
We can do realm. Yeah, but both.
Just do your first time buyers and then we'll talk about realm.
Okay. So today we had Chris Leader coaching. I know it was quiet this morning, but now we got some more people here. Have any of you done first time homebuyer seminars or thought about doing them? Thought about it? Haven't done it. Okay. So he was talking about hosting first time homebuyer seminars, which is something that I've kind of put out there that would be a good idea for you guys to be doing as well, especially if your target audience is first time homebuyers. They were talking today about how millennials are the biggest pool of first time homebuyers. I was laughing with Claire today how they talk about millennials like they're 20-year-olds, but millennials are in their 40s. For those of you guys that don't know, we are grown-ups. I'm a millennial myself. So they were talking about how they have good jobs and all this stuff, but I'm like, yes, like we are grown-ups, most with children and all that stuff. So they still talk about millennials like we are this 20-year-old generation, but there is a generation below us that is going to be buying, but I guess we still probably are the largest first-time home buyers just based off the prices these days. He was joking about how boomers were able to save for a 20% down payment within 5 years. Now it's taking us 22 years to save for a 20% down payment. So it might be a little bit harder for our generation to purchase homes. But he was saying a great way to get in front of millennial home buyers is through first-time homebuyer seminars. I know you guys must have hosted them back in the day. I feel like pre-COVID, people were doing it much, much more. But it is something that you may want to consider. He was talking about it's a great way to get 5 to 7 transactions from it. First-time home buyers are also good because they don't have prior relationships with agents. So there's a higher chance of a first-time home buyer calling you again when the time comes for them to sell that home, which I think is true. A lot of our first-time home buyers are now, we've been in the business for 8 years. They're all starting to call us back in their 5-year cycles, ready to take that smaller home and move up. So I would say that there's some truth to that. He was saying most agents don't host first-time home buyer seminars because they're too scared to do public speaking. So that might be a big reason why a lot of us avoid it. But he did give us strategies and tips for if you guys wanted to think about adding that to your lead generation activities. So first of all, book one. And there's different strategies. So of course, if it's your first time speaking in public, don't expect to be perfect. Don't expect to go in there having a perfect presentation. Just be happy that you're doing it. And then over time, of course, the more you do something, the better it's going to be. I thought it was kind of cool. He was talking about choosing the right partner. So do it with a mortgage broker, a lawyer, and a home inspector, but not just choosing random people that you find on your list or that you've had coffee with, specifically going after people that would not only share the cost of running one of these things, but also someone that has a large client base and would actually do marketing as well. So it's not just you marketing to find the clients that will come to a seminar that are going to also benefit them, but to choose like a lawyer, inspector, mortgage broker that will also have the marketing abilities to put it out there as well. So you're only going to choose people that are going to put in the same amount of effort as you. Otherwise, what I see a lot of real estate agents do when they host these is that they're the ones that are doing all the marketing, and then the mortgage broker, the lawyers, they're just kind of sitting back and letting the clients come rolling in instead of it being a group effort. So choosing your people properly. And of course, someone with good reputation. You don't want to bring in someone that doesn't have a good reputation out there. Keep the agenda to 1.5 hours and stay on top of that 1.5 hours. Don't go to 2 hours, all that stuff, even if you have really great information. He did give a really good outline of an agenda. So if you're thinking about, hey, I want to host one, but I don't know exactly how to, he was saying, you started off like you're the host of the seminar, you do a 5-minute intro, and then the mortgage broker, the inspector, and the lawyer each get 15 minutes. That's it, just to talk about how to get pre-approved. A inspector could talk about top things to look for in a home. A lawyer could talk about the legal process, and then you're going to do 15 minutes on what that home buying process looks like. So a lot of people I noticed will come to us. I had a lot of agents ask me for financial advice that their clients were asking them from. But there are so many experts along the home buying process, and a lot of people rely on the real estate agent to know all of this, but it's good to have these other experts come out to talk about it instead of just you. And then you leave 20 minutes for Q&A to stay on time. One of the cool things that they had was maybe as part of the process, you're offering a pre-qualification from the mortgage broker as a first-time homebuyer. If you come to my session, you will get pre-approved on the spot, or someone's going to follow up with you. So at the end of that session, that mortgage broker is going to be responsible for reaching out to all the attendees, pre-qualifying them, and then they're going to contact you and say, okay, of the group of people that came, these are the people that are qualified and ready to go shopping. So they're actually going to do all the qualification for you, which I thought was a kind of a cool idea. Instead of just you being responsible afterwards to do the follow-up, make the mortgage broker the follow-up, get them qualified, and then let you know who's actually ready to go. Some of the marketing tips that they were giving out was sending postcards to apartments that have lots of tenants in them, phoning any of your previous tenants that you've worked with to see if they're ready to buy a home, on your social media platforms, emailing your CRM because we all use a database, and then at the end of it, sending a confirmation email with some reminders of when the session is. You give a nice schedule of how to prepare for it. They talked about virtual versus in-person. Obviously, virtual is going to be a lot more cost effective if you're doing a webinar on how to buy your first house, but at the end of the day, building the in-person relationships is probably going to be more valuable. So just looking at maybe booking a meeting room in a hotel. You could do it at the office. Like there's many different ways that you guys can run it if you want to keep it cost effective. But yeah, I'm sure people could run it in here if you guys really wanted to throw one. And then use it as a reason to start door knocking as well. So going to an area that's full of like first-time home buyer range and say, hey, I've got a pool of buyers. Now that you've done a home buying seminar, you've got all these pre-qualified buyers. Now you can go door knocking, looking for listings to now match up those people with houses as well. So really good ideas. Again, I don't know, I guess none of you guys have done one before. I'd love to see if someone would. We had an agent that did, it was his first time speaking. He did one at a funeral home. Pretty sure it was funeral home. So I don't really know what the topics were. I guess planning for family's death and all that, but they had like 100+ people attend these things. And I think he got at least like 7 like qualified people call him. He got a listing out of it. So he's doing another one. So maybe you're not necessarily just doing first-time homebuyer seminars, but yeah, like partnering with like retirement homes, funeral homes, running seminars of some sort to get a big group of people out. It's really a save timing process. What was that comment over there? Yeah, do you know what's gonna happen? I don't know who went to these sessions, but do you know who would go to these? They had like lawyers, and I remember him being panicked about what to talk about. I'm like, well, don't talk about the legal process. Like, you're not a lawyer. So then they had lawyers come in, and then he just talked about selling your homes. Like there's a probate process, which the lawyers can talk about. So there's a lot of stuff that different types of seminars that you guys could be throwing, but I mean, it seems pretty weird to go to a funeral home and do something, but they had over 100 people go. So it was a really great thing for them. So if you're thinking about getting into that type of business, it's good. That was one of our agents. Yeah. And he's doing another one. So I would keep doing them if it worked, right?
It's kind of funny. Okay, so
Go for it.
let's just start talking about funeral homes there. So I had somebody, I don't know if it's the same person, I don't think it is, but he wanted to concentrate on funeral homes. So the idea was to go to the people who are grieving to sort of say, hey, you know, blah blah blah, right? And I'm thinking, well, it's really hard. So I said the better idea would go to the funeral director and create a relationship with that guy and say, look, you're gonna have people coming here that they're totally confused. imagine some husband and wife, and the husband did all the work and did
Oh,
all the
boy.
papers and all, and he's died, and the wife's sitting there with the funeral director. What the hell am I supposed to do, right? So I think it's a good thing to have. So
Yep.
maybe this is the direction that they
Kinda like
that they went,
working-
right? So it sounds as morbid, but I wouldn't necessarily go to the grieving person. I would start.
Go to-
I would get a relationship with the directors.
It's literally like talking about divorces too. A lot of people want to work with divorced people and they think to go directly to the divorced wife or husband. I'm like, no, go to the divorce lawyers, the guys that are dealing with these people, because a lot of people in divorces don't want to work with someone they know. So if you're going to the divorce lawyers, now they've got a list of agents they can offer up to these people. So things like that. You could offer seminars with a divorce lawyer and like there could be a bunch of people. So you might not necessarily be
It
first
doesn't
time
even-
buyers.
doesn't have to be
seminar.
first time buyer. It could be somebody died somewhere.
Now what? I'm getting a divorce. Now what? Or my partner passed away or my parents passed away. What do I do? And there's a big process that a lot of people aren't familiar with. A lot of agents aren't even familiar with like the probate process and stuff like that. So there's a lot of education that can happen in these terrible times, but different seminars to offer. And you can do the same thing, lawyer, inspector, mortgage broker, have everybody involved, and then you all get to participate in throwing some education. So that was today's session. I thought it was really great. What were you gonna dive into realm?
Two more things.
I don't really know if you want to talk about Martha
I got
Stewart?
okay.
Okay.
Okay. I'm the only guy who's seen Martha Stewart live. Anybody else seen Martha Stewart live? Unless you went to Realtor Quest, right? Martha Stewart. If you don't know who Martha Stewart is, I'm not going to explain, right? She's a pot smoking hippie. One of her best friends is Snoop Dogg. That's why I say
That'd be a good
she's a
best
pot
friend.
smoking whatever she's doing there. But he quit too, apparently. Anyway, she's on Treb. They gave you here on June 13th. They sent this out saying she's written a podcast. They did, I guess, a seminar. They interviewed her, and she's talking about creating inviting space for potential buyers. So if you have no clue on decorations or stage stuff like that, it would not be a bad podcast to listen to, even though it's Martha Stewart. If I changed the name and said, give me a name of a fancy person.
Kim Kardashian.
Kim Kardashian did a such seminar on something that maybe you'd pay attention to, right? But anyways.
That was a bad example too. She's a businesswoman though. I don't know.
Building long lasting and strong relationships with clients. I think that's, and she's talking about long-term relationship with clients, not your best friend, not become friends, but with clients. And it's a different thing. Like you have to have a long-term relationship with clients, but not necessarily friends, two different things, right? Best ways to create your own brand. Fine. I've got something on that. Managing various roles and commitments as a busy realtor, achieving long-term success. So it's actually pretty good titles. If you want to get some motivation and you're not quite motivated as much as you want to be. That being said, Chat GPT, has anybody played around with that? It's an amazing tool. Now they're starting to charge $20 a month for it. If you really get into it. And there's other ones out there, not just Chat GPT. There's a whole bunch of other ones out there now too. But I did a fancy one and it stopped on me. That's why I know you have to pay money for it. I asked Chat GPT to calculate for me a complicated. Okay, here's what I wanted to know. I wanted to know if somebody had X amount of dollars and they wanted to draw, like say for retirement. Let's say you've got X amount of dollars in retirement and you want to withdraw over your life, but you still want to maintain that principal. You follow what I'm saying? So you can, like, there's two different things. You can have money in the bank or invested, whatever it is, and you can actually take money out to draw it for your retirement. And at one particular time, it's going to drain down to zero. So you got to figure, okay, I'm going to die when I'm 85 and I'm now 65. So I'll divide it by 20. I'll take out 1/20th for the next 20 years and it'll be zero. But the other way to think about it is you want to take out money that money earns and leave the principal there. So I asked GPT, okay, so if I have a 4% inflation or 4% investment, and I want it, how much money can I take out for it to last for 20 years and still maintain the principal? You follow my question? So I asked so rather than me getting out my calculator and I said, ChatGPT, if I did this and asked the question and it came out and told me. Well, I don't know. It was just
It's just nice that you know to do the
so
research.
it just came out with the number and I said, okay, what if it was 5%? What is it? And then it just spits out all these numbers. So it's an amazing tool. So in here it says here, hey, ChatGPT. I'm a real estate agent in Toronto. My brand pillars are past clients, door knocking, Facebook marketplace. How is your pillars to generate business? My target audience is, and we talked about target audience, and I know we talked to agents. What's your target audience is? Anybody that wants to buy a house, right, or sell a house? But no, you have to have a target. Is it millennials? Is it investors, or what is it? Right? First-time buyers, second-time buyers who want help navigating the complexities in the real estate market. I promise my clients they will have the best experience in their life and the best whatever you're going to say. My content goals are what content goals you may have, and imagine my content strategy and keep going. So the question is, you ask it, after giving all that information, what are my innovative marketing strategies for real estate working with a similar target audience? How can I differentiate my business from competitors? These are questions that you ask ChatGPT, and it'll actually come up with a whole
They'll come
business
up with a
model.
whole plan for
They'll come up
you.
with a whole plan for you. They'll say understanding your key market, your key marketing targets, audience, generating context ideas. Now, with everything you know about my brand pillar, so you're talking to this computer, it's weird. I've even said good morning to this thing.
Good morning.
It's a machine, right?
Yeah.
Now with everything you know about my brand pillars and content goals, generate a list of 20 related content ideas that will align my business and will perform well based on my current social media trends. So you can ask it to give you 20 social media tips on what to put into your social media.
It's awesome. It will even go as far as like content. It will say, create me a video script for this. And it'll say, direct the camera here, say this. And it'll say like, here's your hook, here's your outro. Like, and it'll help you create that. Even captions for your content. You could do a workout plan. I tested it last week. I called a fitness trainer to say, help me create a fitness plan and nutrition. It was like $1,000 or something for a month. And I was like, holy crap. So I just went on ChatGPT and I said, I'm this tall, this much weight. These are my fitness goals. Create me a nutrition and workout plan for 8 weeks. And it was like, here's your nutrition plan. Here's your workout plan. And I wrote, write this or put this nutrition plan into a grocery list. And it just like put a checklist of everything from that 8-week plan into a grocery list. So it will really, I don't know I don't know, it'll save me $1,000. It might not work, but it's pretty cool.
They go on to say,
They would have done the same thing.
Exactly. They probably went on ChatGPT, right?
Create a plan for her,
Right?
I can tell you, this is what I did.
Here's the workouts.
Here's that big plan.
$8,000.
so let's say you want to write your clients or your CRM, you want to write them an email to welcome to the spring and generate business and ask for listings or ask for phone calls, right? So what you do is you create this email that you're going to send, but rather than send the email, you put your email in ChatGPT, you say,
Make this better.
can you look at this and make it better so I can create more conversations? And say, yes, I will. And it'll rewrite it for you to the point where it's asking for business, it's asking for a thing.
Yeah. They'll say make it more personable, make it more professional.
So it's okay to send out information, just blah, but you want people to call, you want a call to action. So ChatGPT will help you create that content.
We have to read 28-page article in 15 minutes. So put it to ChatGPT.
Yeah, copy paste. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
right.
Everything that you need.
Yep. Perfect.
So that's right. So if you got a big giant, exactly what you're saying, you got a 20-page thing you got to read, just copy and paste it in there. Say, can you
Give me the cold note.
give me the cold notes, right?
Summarize. I do that with the market stats sometimes for you guys. I'll go to Toronto Market Watch. I'll copy and paste the write-up that they did and I'll say, make this into an Instagram caption that is understandable to like a regular person. And it'll like really dumb it down into what you really need. And then you just use it as your Instagram caption too.
If you're going to use it, just be careful because you got to make sure it's still you. Because sometimes it creates these big words and these big verbs,
yeah.
and it's not you. It's not voices.
I wonder if over time it like gets to know what your voice
And
is.
it also doesn't tell you the truth. For instance, if you guys have a prec, we had a question last week, Nelson. I had a question last week. This person had a prec, and the question was, can he do other business with this prec? property management was the question. And so I said to ChatGPT, do you know Canadian tax laws? It said, yes, I do. I says, on a personal real estate corp, can I do other business? And the computer came back and quoted some stuff on RICO. It says, no, you can't. No, I know you can. So I had to redo it. But the fact is you can ask questions like that aren't necessarily always true, but they're still there. You can ask it any questions. Well, anyways, that's the whole point of ChatGPT and other stuff. We talked about it a couple weeks ago that they showed it there where the fellow had himself on camera. He's paying for this.
Mhm.
And he spoke something that, hey, nice day to buy real estate. Give me a call. Here's my number. And you know, first 5 people to call get $10 certificate or something, whatever it is. You told ChatGPT, please take my picture and put it into Hindi.
Put in what? So his voice will come up?
And so what he said and what the computer did, he had his voice and it changed. His lips were moving, but he wasn't speaking English anymore. He was speaking Hindi.
No, but the lips moving according to the.
According to Hindi, like
It was wild.
it's wild. And he also did it
Italian.
in Chinese. So I have
Right.
people, hey, I want, it's a Chinese market, we'll go to the Chinese market. Okay, then do this, and then people would be impressed, right? So there's all kinds of stuff you can do there, and it's not that hard. Just play around with it. So has anybody looked at ChatGPT at all? Has anybody used it as a business tool yet?
Like
Some
I
people
use
have,
it
so-
daily.
Okay, fine. And then Realm, here we go.
Are you gonna be doing anything?
I don't know. What do you got? Do you guys want me to ask questions on Realm, or has anybody looked at it? Has anybody looked at the stuff? Okay, the one video that I liked the most, somebody asked for it again today, it was the first one there, it was converting from Stratus to ChatGPT. I don't know if we can show it on here.
I'm just gonna show that I emailed it to you guys. Oh, wait, wrong one.
Actually, if you log in, we'll go to that one you sent.
So I sent you guys an email, actually 2 or 3 emails, talking about the Realm training links.
If you logged into Realm today, you would have got a flash,
window?
a notice came up when you logged in today talking about the training courses for Realm. Everybody saw those too, right?
So there's
Did
webinars.
everybody see those or just me?
No one's gonna pay attention until
When-
July
When
20.
you first log in, the screen
Right?
comes up with these notes and you have to close it. You have to see it. You have to close it. Anybody remember seeing that today?
No, I didn't see it.
It was for, I think it was only for the broker, right?
No, it can't be. No.
You have to press.
You have to press a button. So if you say you never saw it, that means like
Let's see.
that means like you're in auto mode. Click and click.
I logged in on my laptop and on this one.
Huh? Anyway, so just repeat a bunch of courses that you can go on well.
Let's see.
Anyway.
Oh, sorry, this is talking.
So this is the one that I like the most.
So I sent it to an email to you guys. If you see making the switch, we wrote it's a highly recommended one. You can click on that and then it will bring you to it.
We start, was this live? Okay, yeah, it is.
Yeah, I don't think no one's gonna be able to hear it from home though.
Okay, so you stop it. So with this particular, this is why I like this one here. It's showing you the Stratus screen. You see the Stratus screen here right now? So this is Realm training, but it's showing you the Stratus screen and it's saying, hey, look, this is where you go in Stratus. So you can play it now. What they're going to do, they're going to go search. And this is your search on Stratus. And then he switches, you can stop it now. So he shows you the search on Stratus and then he goes to Realm and shows you how to do the same thing on Realm. This is why I like this one. So hopefully you can relate to the two. Have you looked at it yet?
So
Has anybody looked
it
at-
does like your common features that you like in Stratus, and then it teaches you how to find the exact same feature in Realm. I find that they've been pretty good at keeping the features pretty consistent now. It took a while. There's still probably a few that are missing, but it just looks different. But it has the same, if not more information on Realm than it does on Stratus.
How long is it?
It's going to be a 2-hour session. They're long, but I'm not treating you guys 2 hours each. So
It's only an hour.
someone's got to do it.
It's an hour 44 on here. But
Oh, it might be questions.
It's actually an hour long with 45 minutes of questions. But it can
That's a
be,
lot.
it can be 3 minutes if you want to be. All you do is put stop and go.
Yeah.
So if you have 5 minutes to spare, just do 5 minutes at a time. You don't have to sit down for a whole hour.
Yeah.
All right.
Or they've got lots of like related videos. If you don't want to listen that long, he does very small 2-minute videos, like how to do a quick search, how to find save searches. So if you don't want to watch the whole thing, he's got tiny little videos of everything, probably. How to log in.
Also, the agents, they open and just go direct to search.
Yep.
That's all they do. They don't do more than that.
Yep.
They don't go into details.
That's right. This is, yeah. So James is saying a lot of people go, when they open up Strash, they go straight to search. They don't look at the main screen, which talks about.
Oh, here's what you were
what's
talking
going on.
about. So when you click on search Stratus, it's gonna whip up this little button for you guys on making the switch. So you were correct. It's not just broker of record. No one's opened Rome today. I was gonna pop out some things that I had an agent last week ask how to be like a more knowledgeable buyer's agent and what stats to use. But I was saying for buyer's agents, I feel like it's more than just the stats and like knowing what's in the market. It's really like understanding the products in the area and really just knowing like the history of like the home. A lot of buyers are impressed when you're saying, oh, this is the history of the property. For example, like when you guys scroll down to the bottom, you'll see like all the history of this property. So you could tell your clients, hey, they sold in 2011 for this amount. I like the ones where it's like, oh, they tried to list low strategy, didn't work. So then they tried this and they've been on the market since April and here's all the different prices they've tried. So yeah, like if you just scroll down, the property history whips up right there. So
Actually click on.
you
it,
can
see the
click on
link.
them. It'll even show you recent sales. So it will do almost like a quick CMA for you where you can see all the different recent sales. It's really slow right now, but it'll show you pretty much houses in that area and what they've sold for as well. So if you just needed to do a quick one, and it'll show up on the mobile app too. So if you're on the road and on your phone, you can quickly whip it up. Other stuff to be more knowledgeable. Someone didn't know that there was like Hood Q. Someone's like, oh, how do I find out what school district that they're part of? You can look up, Hood Q gives you like a nice neighborhood guide of all the parks and stuff.
If you're going on a listing presentation, this would be part of your listing presentation
You
to
should
show
know
the
this
Hood
stuff.
Q because your competition's not.
Yeah.
Anybody here using Hood Q? Anybody here at all? Anybody
So
here
the
using?
address guide is specific for the address. Neighborhood guide will give you the entire neighborhood. So it'll tell you all the schools, whereas the address guide, once it whips up, it tells you the elementary school of that address, the high school of that address. So when you've got families and stuff, if you're working with buyers, these are really important. But yeah, same with sellers. You can have these sitting at the house if you want. I don't know, it's taking too long, but it's usually pretty good. What else is on here? There's lots of good
It
stuff.
tells you whether there's a mortgage on it. It's not 100% accurate, but it'll tell you if there's a mortgage on there as well. It says,
Yeah.
seen that yet? Okay. Yeah, so go down here, it'll say, slow down. Speed up. It'll say, active mortgage.
Oh, yes.
Or it'll say active mortgage, no.
If they do or don't. So if you scroll to the very bottom, okay, that's a new feature.
Doesn't tell you what it is, right? It just tells you there's a mortgage on the place.
Yeah.
See the amount.
No.
But you can get the amount if you want to pay the $30, right?
And then even if you scroll down, there's so much information on the demographics of the area. People ask about buying the property reports. I think I can buy it. There's a lot. Usually you can click on property line. Because that's another,
Why, you talking about the survey?
like there's like a $5 report if you guys want to know exact square footage.
Oh,
Usually there's an easier button, but
I think they're hopefully gonna make that, standard for the square footage because they're trying to make it mandatory. It's mandatory for
Oh, yeah.
condominiums right now. They're trying to make it mandatory for freeholds. But they have to give us access without having to pay $5 a cracks.
yeah. So these are the elementary schools of the property. So really cool. So if you're a buyer's agent, you're on the spot, quickly whip it up.
Yeah,
Lots of
and
parents ask
I'm
that.
also thinking though, if you're doing open houses, you guys still do feature sheets? You do? Like, who does
don't.
feature sheets for open houses? You do? Anybody else? Do feature sheets?
Nice.
Am I
I
right?
don't because it's an extra trip to go pick up printed things, an extra trip to go to the house, and then people throw them out.
I think a lot of people do feature sheets because they told their client they're doing feature sheets, but if you don't tell the client you're doing feature sheets, then.
Tell them you're a paperless agent.
I never told them.
Everything's paperless and
A
online.
lot of people doing feature sheets because they always did.
Yeah.
But,
Depends
but
if you like the
so
trips and
what I'm
all that.
suggesting here is that you do that hood Q thing instead.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to hand something out at the open house, I'll hand out the hood Q thing, to tell them what's going on in the neighborhood, schools and so on.
Or
and
it's
so forth.
or it's online.
Either way.
Either way. Yeah. So for this week's training, Wednesday, we're doing a lunch and learn with Varan and Equitable Bank. They're going to come talk about reverse mortgages and alternative lending. I think specifically for like people with bad credit scores, people like us that are self-employed. Said something about a gray divorce. I don't know what that is exactly, but
People that married for 50 years and get divorced after.
okay. So gray divorces. So he's gonna be talking a lot about like alternative lending. So he is serving free lunch. If you would like to come, please tell me so we can know how much food to have. Otherwise, I won't have enough. What? Can't be picky. I'm not supporting it. Yeah. Other things to know, we are doing family golf day on August 14th. So just put that in your calendars. We're switching it up this year. We're not doing the regular place that we typically go where you do I call it big golf, real golf. We're doing mini putting this year for the kids. Just to make it a little bit more fun. I think there's a driving range there. There's a batting cage. There's a bunch of other stuff there. It's in Stouffville, Timber Creek. Yeah. Is that what it's called? Timber Creek? So we're switching it up. We got a lot of young kids. So we thought maybe we should put them on the mini putting instead of butchering an entire like golf course. But there is some extra golf too. But we are going to switch that up. So you'll get more details.
A lot
on
of
that.
people do the driving range anyways.
Most people did driving range the last couple of years. So we'll still do Mandarin lunch as well, I believe, afterwards. So we're still doing that, but we're just switching the course. What else? Conference, Century 21 conference is also coming up in September in Ottawa. I know I've had a lot of people that were ready to go and then they saw the prices as it's quickly approaching and they're slowly backing out, but
And the market too.
and the market's not doing well. So it is in Ottawa, which is nice. So we'll save money if you want to drive there. It's like a 4.5 hour drive. We're staying at the Westin in Ottawa. I think it's a great conference just to get to meet all the other Century 21s in Canada, great referral opportunities, learn lots, lots of good speakers and all that too. So if you're thinking about conferences to go to in the fall, add that one to your list. What's that? Yep, people can carpool, you can take the train, there's many options. So if you don't want to fly, I think it's an hour flight. I don't know what we're doing, but should be fun.
Usually the train's fun. We've done that a couple times.
I went to another Century 21 in Oakville and they told me how you guys went to Ottawa back in the day and they got kicked off the train for having too much fun on the way there. And they had one more stop to go and they got kicked off the train and had to find their way out. So it is a lot of fun. Lots of agents it's a work fun type of trip. So I don't think people will be doing that. But those are some of the events. And then I think next week or in 2 weeks, David Greenspan's also going to come do an online webinar with you guys. He's got an event to talk about as well in September in Toronto. So he just wanted to come chit chat with you guys about that as well. So lots coming down the pipeline.
Online or live?
That'll be online. And that's all I've got. Is that all you got?
Anybody have any properties you want to talk about? No. Did you sell?
No, offer never showed up.
Anybody had that experience? You have offer date come and go, no offers? Is that happening?
Like 90% of the time now.
Yeah, so just be strategic.
A lot of agents seem to be boosting their expectation. I'm pretty sure it's turning off prospective buyers that are in the market for the right price, and it's just selling agent either doesn't know how to set the right expectation, but almost like they're discouraging people that have an offer to come through. Like wondering why they would do that in a strategy like that. So beforehand they say we're looking for so much over, like they're so sure, and then the person's like, forget you then. Good
Yeah.
luck on your own deals.
The better strategy is say, oh, they don't have any expectations. They're open, even though you do.
That word now is out the window and people are so sure, but I'm also seeing that, I don't know if it's just me, a lot of agents controlling inventory that no clue, I don't know what they have no clue, they have no clue how to talk to their sellers. They're literally saying, we want X. And you say, okay, well, here's the reality, and they're not even using any of the comparables. It's just.
Yeah, it's just like an emotional price. Yeah. Or we're
So
seeing
Ro-
lots
so
of
Rose-
people that bought in like 2022 and then they're having an offer night and hoping to get that peak price, but that price is gone. So
Some people are so also. I don't know how to explain it.
Huh.
Like, you see some one-offs are like, okay, good for you, but it's not happening everywhere, but.
Yeah.
We're getting.
So Raj is saying there, a lot of times some agents aren't logical in their asking prices. Like they want what they want because that's what they want, but they're not saying what the comparables are to support it, right? So if you're trying to list property, you gotta do the same for your seller. You're gonna have to support that list price. Yes, the seller wants $1 million, but the documents say it's worth 900,000.
Yeah.
So it's nice to get the $1 million, but you know, let's have a year-long lease or something, or listing.
We even had one where we had to explain to the agent, listing agent, like, I can put that on paper for you, go through the whole process, won't appraise, and we'll be back at what? And they were like, well, trying to, just to understand where they come up with their pricing. So I give them our story, and I look for a similar story,
mhm.
nothing.
Is this story or is it?
Just like, I picked the number, there was a number that was here, and people were price dropping 100K at a time, going like, are you that far off? Like,
I can see a house is very objective, right? A house, you know, you don't know, but when it comes to condominiums, it's basically it's price per square foot, isn't it?
square footage, condition of the house, location, there's factors. that we
Exposure.
Should be able to look into, but quantifying most of the stuff is difficult, but when you're so far out to lunch, it makes sense why your properties are steep. The people that are supposed to be selling it don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know?
So as agents, we try to tell our agents that you and the client, it's kind of a funny thing. I don't know, I haven't had a call for a while. Nelson, you had any calls from consumers yet complaining?
Hmm.
I haven't had any calls. Usually we get those calls. That's why I know when the market's really changed. But sometimes the sellers think that you're trying to buy the property and you're the problem and you're the one that's not doing. You're like, they have to understand you guys are on the same side. We're both on the same table. We're both trying to sell your property. You want to sell it, I want to sell it. We're on the same side. I'm not your enemy. Okay, so let's figure out a strategy. It's not selling. It's obviously not selling. The public says it's not selling. They're not buying it. Let's adjust the price. Let's do something. Let's change something. But we're on the same side here. It's not me against you.
It's always price.
They don't want to listen to that. You tell them what the market value is, and once they have someone brought the offer to them and they expect that offer to come back again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
don't realize that the offer is gone and it's
So-
never gonna come back.
So James is saying that sometimes the sellers just don't want to listen, which is fine too, but that's why you want to have strong motivation too.
Then you just go find another listing and don't sit on, have nightmares on that listing for every single night. Just go find another one to take your focus on it. Okay, we'll see you guys Wednesday. Hopefully.
Okay, see y'all.